Germans are voting in a national election on Sunday that is expected to see Friedrich Merz's Conservatives regain power and the far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD, score its best-ever result as Europe's ailing economic powerhouse may turn rightwards. Can the German federal election produce a majority? Well, we are only hours away to find that out. DD India's Mihir Mekhuri reports.
On Sunday, Germans thronged polling stations across the country to cast their votes in a highly anticipated general election. Opinion polls suggest that the results will usher in a new chancellor and a fresh governing coalition. The snap election is widely expected to see Friedrich Merz's Conservatives reclaim power, with the far-right Alternative for Germany, or the AfD, poised to achieve its strongest result yet.
I think so, because Friedrich Merz also knows something about the economy. And I think he needs to rebuild our country a little better. So much has been lost. That's a pity. A lot has been lost. And we have a beautiful country here. And that's where we have our hope.
Aus meiner Sicht ist
From my point of view, it is important that calm returns and that we find a line together with all parties, that Germany regains the status we used to have and security returns.
Now let's take a closer look at the key players in this race, starting with Friedrich Merz. Merz of the Christian Democratic Union, or the CDU, has been the long-time frontrunner. The CDU has adopted a more aggressive stance on immigration. Merz served as a member of the European Parliament from 1989 to 1994. He represented the CDU in the Bundestag until 2009. After two unsuccessful bids, Merz became CDU leader in 2022. Alice Weidel, co-leader of the AfD, is the party's candidate for chancellor and staunchly anti-immigration. The AfD had a strong performance in 2024 regional elections. It became the largest party in Thuringia, a first since the Nazi era. The AfD also finished a close second in another regional vote. Next is Olaf Scholz. The incumbent Chancellor's party, the SPD, could face the toughest electoral battle. Opinion polls indicate a 10-point drop in votes, placing them behind the AfD and in a tight race with the Greens for third. A poll last September ranked Olaf Scholz as the least popular Chancellor since reunification. And Robert Habeck. The Green Party, polling at around 13%, is a key party to watch. The Greens could play a crucial role in forming the next German government. Robert Habeck, the nation's economics minister, is the Green Party's candidate for chancellor. Now let's take a closer look at some of the key issues that drove the German electorate in this election. The state of German economy has been a major focus of the election, with Germany's once thriving economy now stagnating and in need of reform. Rising competition from China in the automotive sector and a potential trade crisis with the US add to the growing concerns. Major German automakers, including Volkswagen, face the threat of mass layoffs and plant closures. Immigration driven by concerns over attacks carried out by asylum seekers. And the Russia-Ukraine conflict has forced Germany to reduce its reliance on Russian gas, contributing to economic challenges. This snap election follows a turbulent period for Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who saw his finance minister dismissed and lost a vote of confidence. Counting of votes begins after polling ends at 1700 GMT. Mihir Mekhuri's report for DD India.
And DD India's Shubhendu Ghosh joins us on the story now. Shubhendu, could you tell us something more about the issues dominating the German elections, especially the German economy and migration, and where the main parties stand on them?
Right, Tanvi. Well, three main issues are at the heart of these elections, historic elections in Germany, beginning with the conflict in Ukraine, the Russia-Ukraine war that has had a direct impact on European nations, more so on the growth engine of Europe, that is Germany. The energy discontinuation from Russia has had an adverse impact on German economy. It has seen its worst days in about a couple of decades. For the past couple of years, the growth has been in the negative. The cost of living has gone up significantly. In that sense, a lot is riding on a new chancellor to show the new path to Germany, and therefore economy becomes a significant issue next. And then there's also the issue of migration. Many politicians, many people think that all that is ailing in Germany has much to do with unchecked migration, not just from Ukraine, where about 1.5 million migrants had come in 3 years of Ukraine conflict that we've been talking about. Besides that, the other regions in conflict, such as Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, millions of refugees seeking asylum have come to Germany. And for the past decade or so, Germany was seen as this prosperous European country which had its door open for those who are in need. But now the same migrants are associated with crimes that are rising in Germany. In fact, in the recent weeks, about 3 major crimes that were committed allegedly by foreign nationals. So in that sense, the political mileage of the agenda against migration is also gaining significant migration. So Ukraine, economy and migration at the heart of these elections.
Okay.
Tanvi?
A word about the 2 key leaders in Germany, Friedrich Merz of the centre-right Christian Democratic Union and Chancellor Olaf Scholz of the centre-left Social Democrats.
Well, we have to see that both these leaders represent parties which have dominated German politics since the Second World War. These are centrist party. Scholz party leans towards the left, whereas Merz's party, the CDU, Christian Democratic Party, leans towards the right. It's centre right, but primarily they are centrist parties. Merz party is a conservative party. Merz is seen as a front runner. If we go by the opinion polls, about 30 points, 30% of the support, you can say, is likely to be gained by Merz. What is interesting is that Scholz, the incumbent chancellor, is far behind at number 3. It is the AfD, the far-right Alternative for Germany party, led by Alice Wilder, which is on number 2. Now, we have to see that far-right parties in Germany, particularly with their certain association with the difficult Nazi past, have experienced political untouchability. They've been at the margins of German politics. But now that there is a certain degree of distrust, trust deficit that people are experiencing with traditional politics, with traditional politicians, we see that these elections are also marked by the rapid rise of the far right.
And how could the election results affect the European Union and support for Ukraine in its conflict with Russia?
Oh, most directly, Tanvi, especially as far as the Ukraine war is concerned. We already know that the kind of a certain U-turn that the new US administration has taken under President Trump, from being supporter of Ukraine to exploring alliance with Russia. Ukraine is really, to a great extent, banking on its support from Europe and more so from Germany. Germany has been the most vocal, prominent supporter, not just vocal, but in terms of funds and ammunition and defense supplies. Germany has been at the forefront after United States for Ukraine. And here in these elections, to a great extent, the centrist party maintain a certain support for Ukraine, continuing support for Ukraine. But the far right and far left, and this is where it gets interesting, these parties see a potential ally in Russia. They see a certain problem in Germany spending its funds, putting its investments in Ukraine. So if a certain situation comes into play where the far right, whose rise is quite meteoric in these elections, if their support and their role in the new government becomes important, the Ukraine-Russia conflict could take a whole new turn against Ukraine.
Thank you very much, Shubhendu Ghosh, reporting on this story.